Hey, so one of the most requested videos that I get is how much to charge for sod work. I have not really covered that a whole lot in my channel up to this point. And to be honest, the reason is because there are a lot of local companies in our area that they watch my channel, and I really don't want to give away exactly what I'm charging for sod work. It's a very, very competitive service in our area, and I try to price as competitive as I can, and I don't want to just give out that information just freely onto social media, and I hope you can understand that. That being said, I'm going to tell you how I come up with my number and how you could come up with a number for yourself. I price based on the complexity of the job. I price based on how much grading work there is to do, how much of a tear out there is to do, if there is access for our equipment to get in there and stage the sod, or are we going to have to wheelbarrow it in to a difficult area. And then finally, each type of grass, each type of turf, it commands its own price. So we're going to break down some of the things that I'm looking at, and I'm going to give you a framework for you coming up with your own number for how much you would charge to install sod in somebody's lawn. Okay, number one, I do not do small patchwork jobs. A lot of times we will get calls from clients who they need like patches of sod here and there, and what they're thinking is like they see these sod squares at Home Depot or Lowe's, and they're thinking that you just go and pick those up and throw them down. And guys, there's just not enough money in doing piecemeal sod work. And if I were to actually charge, what it would cost for us to go do that, like they would probably have a heart attack. So my minimum is 2 pallets. Like if you cannot do 2 pallets in your yard, then I'm really not interested in doing the work. The only exception to that is if we are doing other things in the lawn. For example, if we are top dressing it, or if we are doing some type of, like maybe we're spreading lime, or maybe we're doing a landscaping project and then need to fill in some small areas with sod. That is a different scenario because the overall ticket, we're already on site. It's different than making a special trip with just 1 pallet of sod. So again, I don't do small patch work, and I really feel like you probably should not either. Have a minimum amount of sod that it's just, there's a lot of logistics to doing it, man. There's just a lot of things to think about. So you need to kind of have like a baseline of like, this is like the bottom end number for what I want for me to show up and say, I'm doing a sod job. And to be honest with you, man, if it's under like $900 or $1,000, like I'm not even excited about it. Number 2 is the complexity of the job. Most of the time, most of your money from a sod job comes with the tear out and the grading. Now, if, for example, if a project is already been graded out, let's say a pool company comes in and they've already backfilled areas around the pool, it's smoothed off, ready to go. Dude, most of the time, a homeowner can buy the sod and lay the sod. Like, you can teach a monkey to throw the sod, like throw it green side up, connect it. Yeah, you might be better at it overall, but the point is that throwing the sod down on the ground and getting it to look nice, that is the easy part. The difficult part, the skilled part, the part where people are paying you good money is to remove existing vegetation, all right? Do dirt work, grade it out, bring in good topsoil, smooth it all out. That's what you're getting paid for. And that is where the money is. Sod work for us is divided up into 2 separate days. One day is a full day of prep, removing the existing lawn, coming in, grading things out, bringing in topsoil, and basically just having the yard completely ready to go for sod installation. The second day is actually installing the sod, okay? And again, that is the easy part of the whole situation. And it's not that it's easy, it's still hard work. It's physically, it's exhausting. I mean, it really is. It's hard work, but that portion is not skilled work. Prep work, that is the skilled portion, and that is where you are going to make your money. Number 3, we price the jobs based on square footage, with the first 2 pallets, the first 1,000 square foot, being at a much higher rate than the additional pallets. Again, going back to all the logistics, the supplies, and the delivery fees and all those things, all that stuff happens even on 2 pallets a lot of times. So we have to recover that cost. So that's why a lot of times a 2 pallet job, it's pretty expensive, just because there's a whole lot of stuff that has to happen to make that job a success. So whereas your normal price for sod might be $1.50 a square foot, delivered and installed with prep, your first 2 pallets might be $2.25 a square foot, delivered and installed. And then each additional pallet, up to a certain amount, will have a lower per square footage rate. The key to making that work, that portion number 3, is accurate estimating. And I have screwed this up so many times. That Moser tool that I've been harping on for a few months now, that has been a game changer for our business. Every single sod job that I have been doing since I've had that tool, I have had almost no waste left over, ever. I mean, which it has been honestly remarkable. This very last job that we did, for example, it said that we needed 9.4 pallets. I just ordered 10 pallets of sod because it said 9.4. We literally ended up with exactly the right amount that we needed. Moser is not sponsoring this video, but they have given me a discount code if that is a product that you're interested in. And if you're doing any type of measuring, man, and you haven't checked this out, again, I do not share things on this channel that I don't believe in, and I am on board with this product. It 100% gets my stamp of approval. This is a great, fantastic way to have very, very accurate measuring. Number 4 is accurately estimating your projected labor for the project. Now, I have messed this up in years past. I felt like, we needed more people than what we actually did to complete these jobs. And sometimes I wouldn't have enough people. But man, sometimes you get on these jobs and you have so many people and you think it's just going to go way, way faster. It's not always the case. A lot of times you're just tripping over each other, in each other's way on these sod jobs. There really is fine-tuning, a balancing act between getting your labor rates and your projected labor cost really dialed in. What I have found to be the most effective is to have 2 guys working on a pallet and then 1 guy moving pallets around with the skid. Now, if you can have 4 guys, you need 2 pallets. 1 pallet on this side of the yard, 1 pallet on this side of the yard. You got 2 guys here, 2 guys here, 1 guy in the middle with the skid steer. And again, it doesn't always work out perfectly, but I've just found that having too few guys, you get exhausted. And if you have too many, there's just a lot of inefficient labor. And inefficient labor on landscaping projects, that will kill profitability on landscape projects. So while I cannot tell you exactly what I charge per square foot for centipede or zoysia or St. Augustine or those grass types, I can give you an idea. Zoysia and St. Augustine grass is typically about 70% more expensive than centipede to install. Meaning that if centipede was $1 a square foot delivered and installed, we're going to be closer to $1.60 to $1.70 a square foot installed for Zoysia and St. Augustine. And that is not my pricing per se, but it is an example of how the different costs of the different grass types will affect how much you charge. And besides the point of me not wanting to give out complete information on my pricing just to kind of protect myself a little bit, the other reason is that your cost of buying these products are going to be different than mine. Like, your cost of buying dirt might be different than mine. Your cost of buying sod is different than mine. Your cost of delivery, depending on which supplier you use, is different than mine. So I can't just say, hey, for centipede, you should be charging 85 cents a square foot or $1.25 a square foot. It doesn't work like that. You have to sit down and do some math on your own.